So hello everybody, this is Parker Review. I'm going to show you how to take apart your Game Boy Advance. A couple things you're going to need to do is you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, really small. There's a couple of screws on the Game Boy you're going to need that for. And you're going to need a tri-wing. I'll put those down in the description. I don't know what type of screwdriver this would be. Like an iPhone one would work. So let's go ahead and show you what you have to do. So take out your game and your battery. If you don't know how to take out the game, it is this easy. Now, Game Boy Advance, you have to go right here and you have to kind of do that with your fingernail. Or you just have to like do that with the edge of your hand. Like take it out. After you do that, for the battery, it's just like this. I use rechargeables. I don't have an SP anymore, so I would do a teardown of an SP, but I think I filmed one I never uploaded, I don't remember. So, that's how you take those out. So, for screws, you would just unscrew it. It's not super hard, but just showing you. You'd go and make sure you don't strip the screws. They're pretty small. And this one is Phillips. I'll tell you which screws are which. There's different model Game Boy Advances, so if you're going to do like a backlight mod, I kind of want to do one, but I probably won't for a long time because I don't know. So this one might be longer than the rest, and I think it might be. So I'll be back after I take out this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and these two. There's 7 screws on the back. The black one is longer than the rest, I think. After you take out all those screws, now what do you do? The Game Boy pries apart, if I'm correct, like that. So now you have a motherboard, which, well, what does everything do? I'm not gonna say what everything does, but let's say you have broken volume buttons, you'll have to replace that. I don't even know how you'd probably have to solder that. Not doing anything like. Let's see, you have a broken power switch. This comes out. Make sure you don't put this on wrong because you could break your power button. These simply just come out like this. These do have like these things. I want to look at kind of how they're actually dirty. These come out that easily. So those come out like that. Now there is 2 screws, one right here and one right here, and all of the case screws are the same size, but the middle one right here should be black, just because that's a stock way how it looks, and I think it looks a lot better. If you look at this case, it's actually in really good condition, and I got this Game Boy given to me, which was cool. It's kind of I had it and my SP at the same time, but I just got rid of the SP. I don't use it. So let's go ahead and take this screw off and the other screw, and I'll do that on video because why not? It's 2 screws. Also these other plastic things come off. So as you can see, the motherboard's lifting. This comes off like that, as you can see. Just lifts off. I kind of want to do a glass faceplate swap, but I don't have a glass piece. I should buy a glass piece. That would be really nice. And I should do a backlight mod. and probably a speaker mod. That'd be a really dope Game Boy. I kind of want to do a mod of Game Boy, but I probably won't. Even though I sold my SP and I don't really play Game Boy games much, I just collect because I feel like it's fun. Now, after you do that, don't take the motherboard out because you have to disconnect the screen. The screen is like this. I'm gonna go ahead and go closer and focus. So this lifts up, the other one lifts up the same way, and you can lift the cable. How do you lift the cable? They don't recommend you use metal, so if you have something not metal, you can use that. I'm gonna use metal because why not? I don't really like. I'm not, as long as you're careful and you're not being really hard and harsh with your Game Boy, you'll be fine. Just be delicate with the ribbon cable and you'll be fine. They say not to, which is fine, but like just be careful and you're fine. Like that's not gonna break if you're careful with it. Now the board can lift out. I'm sorry that we're out of focus for a second. The board can lift out if I think. Unless there's another screw. No. Oh, you have to take this out, I think. board should just lift out like a G. Okay, so you have to kind of put a tiny bit of force, not much, and it lifts up. Speaker, if you want to replace that, it's these two solder points, I think. These on the bottom. So that's easy. So you see that. So you need to repair that. Let's say you need to, these are not really, these are really spongy. Well, I'm not surprised these always break on people. Like, I never felt the material, but it feels really cheap. It's not really clicky. It's not like perfectly built. You have these, which these are a tiny bit dirty. I'll clean that up just because. And you can just take the buttons out. Take start and select out if you need. If you're doing a case swap, this is actually really easy. Make sure you keep the D-pad how it is. It's actually not really dirty of a Game Boy. The D-pad's a little bit dirty. I'll clean that off before I put it back together. Now, how do you take the screen off? So, what I do is I do the flex trick. I think you flex it kinda. So if you heard it pop, what you can do, use my shirt to flex this. What you want to do, you want to flex this. You'll actually want to flex this a couple times. It won't feel like you're breaking it. If you have a tool, you would actually use this. So you would want to flex it. Sorry about that. So what you could do, you could flex it. This is kind of hard with the camera. You kind of want to flex it. You want to do this like somewhere when you can flex, like you want to flex your Game Boy. You want to flex it until you're able to grab something and get under it. There is a little bit of adhesive. Just be careful with the display and you'll be fine. And it is adhesive. I don't want to touch the screen and it comes out like that. My screen has no fingerprints. I'm just gonna blow it off. And I'm just gonna pop it back in there. But I just saw, don't ever grab it by the ribbon cable. That's a really bad idea. Don't go in and grab it by the ribbon cable. To pop this back into place, just go back. Just, you don't need much pressure. If you're doing the backlight mod, you'd be cutting plastic under here. Yeah, don't do that. Don't pull it from the ribbon cable. I'm not gonna try, but as you can see, maybe you could do it from here. I don't know. No, you can't. You would have to like cut plastic down here. This video decided to do that. Maybe I'll do a video like that at some point. Yeah, that's how you take apart your Game Boy Advance. I'll put it back together and I'll show you how to put it back together right now quickly. So you're just gonna have to go in reverse order, like A and B. This is B, this is A. Like, this is really easy. The D-pad, it just goes back on. You have to align it perfectly, but you throw your start and select, your A, B rubber pad things. You put everything correctly. I'm sorry, I'm kind of off screen. You just set these in, you set in your A and B. You mount everything. It's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Pretty much. You take your motherboard / logic board, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna call it a motherboard because you put this in, Make sure you don't let the ribbon cable a little bit so you can let this go in. Speaker, you can kind of get that. Just you could use your screwdriver to get that to get placed into placement. And you can just use your screwdriver to get everything placed in. You can push on that, I guess, but don't really push too hard because this is a capacitor. Don't mess with anything in here unless you know what you're doing. As you can see, I kind of like did that with the ribbon cable. I'm gonna lift the board a little bit. We're fine. I'm gonna use a screwdriver. Don't do this. If you have something plastic, use that. It's better for it. But look, I didn't even bend the ribbon cable at all. But it's not recommended. I don't recommend you do it. If you are good at doing this type of stuff, then you might be fine. You might not be. You'd be better off not doing it. It goes in easily. I just showed you to put in. Click these in. Don't touch this. Don't touch the board. Don't touch stuff with. Just don't touch random stuff and try and mess with stuff. Don't try to desolder something if you don't know. To put your power switch is easy. You see this little black thing right here? Let me focus. Black, like black plastic thing. You have to line this up. So it goes like this. And it goes on like that. And this is your power switch. This is what makes it click. Not this, but this plastic thing makes it click. That click is from that. Now, you have these things. You set these in. These set in. Okay. You can see these are for one side only. You set these in. You set your LNR in like this. Just sets in. Just sets in. You put your 2 screws. You put your 2 screws in the 2 holes. Take this hole and you put your 2 screws back in the holes that that you saw in the video. There's different screws. Take a photo when you take your Game Boy apart. Some of the maybe some of the some advances might have 3 screws. I'm not sure. I think this is a hole. I'm not sure. I know this is one. I know this is one of them. So you just screw this back in. This is one screw. I think this one's a screw, or this is. Or this one was. I don't fully remember. So you just put the screws back in. Take a photo of a diagram. I had it previously in the video, and you just slap on your cover, and then you start putting your other screws in. You'll slap that in, click it together, start putting your screws back together. Just because, so you want to test test it before you put it back together. Just make sure you don't mess anything up. Boots perfectly. You can put your game in. Make sure your game works. I have no doubt that my Game Boy is going to be broken. I've took apart Game Boys quite a while. I need to retake this apart anyways to clean that area. But that's how you tear down your Game Boy Advance. Just put all your screws back and it's pretty easy. This is Parker saying, go ahead and subscribe. Bye.